my name is Olivia Antonelli. I am a senior kinesiology major at Texas A&M University College Station, and today we'll be discussing healthy weight loss through a behavioral lens. So just a little bit about me. I'm a first-generation Aggie. I was actually born and raised in Rhode Island. And like I said, I'm a senior kinesiology major, but during my time here at Texas A&M, I've interned in strength and conditioning, directed a women's wellness class, and also competed on the Aggie powerlifting team. So lots of my background is in physical fitness. I enjoy my summers back home, coaching, also working in hobbies like music, and of course, spending time by the beach. I love selfless service. I'm very curious and I enjoy serving the community. So upon graduation, I hope to find a career that allows me to do that. During my research this summer, I was very fulfilled and very happy with what we came to find. So my internship was in Providence, Rhode Island with Brown University Health's Weight Control and Diabetes Research Center. I had the honor of serving under Dr. Jessica Unick, who is a behavioral research professor at Brown Medical School. So the two projects that I worked under were PATH and Elevate. During my 10-week internship, I explored the objectives of both of these, with Elevate being a project that compared an automated online research program with a group-based video conference. And we also assessed how individualized coaching affected the participants. PATH, on the other hand, was looking to discover whether the addition of online yoga classes in comparison to health and wellness classes would improve desired outcomes in weight loss. So on these teams, I worked to enter data, automate and update participant reports, worked on ads and designed those ads, dove into recruitment research, and also revised some of our videos that we put out to our participants. So here's just some in the field visual representation of what I was doing. So a lot of my work was exploring and entering the data we were collecting. I used different softwares to do that, such as a statistics software. I had to transfer physical files into digital files and work with actigraphs, which are select instruments that I'll actually be talking about in one of my videos that I produced. So these are the two vlogs that I made while I worked this summer. The first is going to be a day in my life video, and I'll play for y'all. Come along with me for a day in my life interning at Brown University Health. I always start my day on the bus, which is about a 30-minute commute, until I reach my lovely cubicle. My view was a little sad, but that didn't stop me from getting right to work. Here I'm looking at some de-identified files and picking up some actigraphs, which are activity trackers that we send out to participants in order to grab some baseline assessments. Fun fact, these actually measure 3 planes of motion, so it's super cool for looking at movement data. Then I enter that data and make sure it's correct, and finally I finish off my day with some ad and recruitment research. See you next time! All right, and the second vlog that I made was a day in my life, but instead of just a normal day, I was actually writing a literature review. Come write a literature review with me as I intern at Brown University Health. So, of course, I took to Reddit to find the best place to get work done, and I settled on a white electric in Providence. I got myself some fuel because I knew I was going to get straight to work, reading and summarizing. So you might be wondering, what is a literature review? Well, when you have a research question, the first thing you have to do is figure out what's already out there on that topic. So here I am looking into resistance training in terms of weight loss. In the middle of my search, I decided it was definitely time for a pick-me-up, so I got a coffee and finally headed out for a Zoom meeting to end my day. Until next time. So those were just two of the videos that I produce and are actually featured on the Science Influencers account. Onto my study communication. These are two visuals that I made, one for the Science Influencers account and the other for some recruitment for a study. So while I was working at Brown University Health, I highlighted my time on the PATH trial, but I also made ads for other trials that I personally was not working on, such as the Most Energized study. So these are very important because in order to conduct our research, we need to produce eye-catching visuals so that participants will want to join the study. While I was working this summer, I worked on a personal project of a conference poster that we've seen a lot of other of our influencers show to us today, and I am hoping to present this one at the Texas ACSM conference in 2026. So Dr. Unick and I worked on this week by week, revising and researching why our research question was examination of factors associated with exercise identity and habit formation among inactive adults over a 12-week exercise program. So this was in addition to the current research studies that I was focused on. This was more so on the side, looking into just what it takes to create a poster and talk at a conference like this one. So another project that I produced for Dr. Unick was a strength program so that we could potentially incorporate it into some studies in the future. So our goal here was to give participants resources in case they wanted to go into a gym and actually work on strength training during their weight loss journey. And so here we've got just some verbal instructions and education, as well as some visuals on how to perform the movement, where exactly the movement targets, and different variations of said movement. Here are some infographics I also produced during my time this summer. So these specifically are centered around nutrition. We've got our 3 macronutrients: fats, protein, and carbs. And this was also featured on the Science Influencers Instagram. And it kind of just shows, a little bit of information about each macronutrient, as well as where you can find it and the effects on the body, as well as the effects of when you are deficient in the macronutrient. Very interesting and hopefully very palatable and easy to read. That was one of our objectives. So first of all, I'd just like to thank the Science Influencers program and Drs. Holly Leggett, Gary Wiggenbach, and Barbara Gastel. Thank you to Dr. Unick and the Path and Elevate teams. I couldn't have done any of this without you, and I learned so much during my 10-week internship this summer. So especially at Brown University Health, I found that my idea of working in research was shifted. I came in with the notion that a lot of it would just be lab work and, kind of just what you might think of your average research lab being. But because we were working on a lot of behavioral research, I was introduced to much different settings that I actually really enjoyed. I also loved helping the team and knowing that I was contributing to something larger than myself, and that being diabetes research, which is very important, especially in our country. And finally, I learned that I liked working face-to-face with the general population, and recruitment was super duper fun. And I think that opens it up for questions.